Hey friends, welcome back. Currently, I am participating in a gift exchange, but the funds ain't funding. But luckily, I have a stash of blanks that I can sublimate. I also had some laser charms on hand, and I always have some blank cards that I can use for such an occasion. So, I'm going to show you how I make these gifts on a zero budget. So, first thing first, when the first round of COVID hit, I was exposed and had to stay home for 2 weeks. So, I took on a new hobby, sublimation. And I started making masks just to bring in a little extra money. I had to sit down and learn how to use my design program. And yeah, I just made masks. Now, these kids' masks were my most popular. When the kids had to go back to school, they needed masks, and so I did a lot of custom masks for kids. And then my other love was tumblers. So I designed this tumbler with my design program, and yeah, I started making tumblers. So that's what I'm going to show you today. So I made this shirt the other day. I didn't record it, but I am going to record how I made the shirt. I'll show you the process. Now, sublimation, you have to have a sublimation printer, sublimation ink, sublimation paper, and then you also have to have, a design. And so, yeah, and then sublimation, you can do that on many things. Like this puzzle here, as you can see, it has that little coating on it. Now, I did try to press this other design that I made, but it did not come out well. So I have to do some more research on that. But yeah, you can sublimate puzzles, mugs, glasses. But today I'm doing a t-shirt and a tumbler. And when you print your design, you have to print it on the flip side. And as you can see, that doesn't look black. It looks like it's a little dark. But when you press it, that chemical process of the ink turns it black. And when you do a t-shirt, or any fabric, you want to make sure that you get all the lint off. So use your lint roller. You may not be able to see the lint, but it is there, trust me. And if you leave that lint on there, it'll show in your design. So don't skip this step. And another step you don't want to skip is you want to preheat your shirt to get all the moisture out. Because there is moisture in there. You can't see it, but it's there. So just make sure that you go ahead and press it for about 5 seconds to get that moisture out. And you also need parchment paper. Now I usually use a roll, but I wanted to try these sheets. They seem to be just a little bit more convenient. And you want to put one in between, because if you don't, when you press it, that design is going to go through the shirt and go on the back. Now, I got a shirt where the design is on the back and it's backwards. So make sure you put that sheet in between so that that doesn't happen. Now, if I was selling this shirt and it was more professional, I would definitely use this as a guide to make sure that my design is straight and where it's supposed to be. But 9 times out of 10, I'm eyeballing it, which is kind of what I did here, just showing you the process. Usually your design needs to be about 3 inches below the collar. I want this to sit a little bit higher. And again, I'm just going to eyeball it. I mean, it looked like it's in the middle, right? But go ahead and pull that out and then make sure that your design is where it needs to be. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and put that second piece of parchment paper on there. And it's all there. I'm going to scoot it back. And then we're going to press this at 400 for 1 minute. Now this one has a timer on it. It will let me know when it's done. Okay, and when you're done, be careful. It's hot. And if you move that design around it, it could still press the ink on there. So make sure you pull that off carefully. And then that's it. Shirt is done. There's not a whole lot to it. We're just taking the heat, pressing that design on the shirt, and there you have it. And as you can see, it's dark, it's black, and that's our shirt. Okay. So moving on to the tumbler. Now, make sure that you preheat your tumbler press. I made this design. I put the same design on the shirt, and then I also put their favorite scripture on here. And so, yeah. And this works the same way. You want to flip it. You want to print it the opposite way, because once you put it on the mug, it needs to be the right way. And then your tumbler, again, you want to clean your tumbler. I just used rubbing alcohol. There's usually lint or something on there that you don't see, so just make sure you get that cleaned off well. Now, the taping process is a very important step. I didn't show you guys, but definitely if you want a tutorial and if you want to see how I did that, go ahead and leave me a comment. And then the shrink wrap, this, especially since I have a tumbler press, this is optional. You don't need to do this. I just wanted to show you that if you use a convection oven, which is what I used to use, that this shrink wrap is going to help that design stick to your tumbler. So you don't have to do this if you're using a mug press, because as you can see, behind that tumbler press is going to press the design into the mug. So I don't need that. But, and as you can see, I didn't do it right anyway. The paper's supposed to be flush. I didn't make sure the tension was good before I start putting the heat on there, but that's okay. Because like I said, my tumbler press is going to take care of that. So this is kind of just, at this point, overkill. I didn't need to do it, but just wanted to show you. But with your heat gun, you're just going to go ahead and go through and make sure that all of that shrink wrap is on the mug. And as you see, it's just kind of hugging the mug and holding that paper on there. And so once you're done with that, it's going to be time to go ahead and put that in the tumbler press. Now, I preheated the tumbler press to 370. I'm going to press each side of the tumbler. Again, it's really not necessary when you have a tumbler press to do that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and heat it 1 minute each side. And then I put that tape on there so that when I flip it, I'll know what the other side is. So go ahead and stick that in there. Now, something else that's very important, make sure that you have a heat resistant glove. Like this stuff, when I say it's hot, it's hot. So make sure that you have your glove so that you can, move things around, flip it, take it out, all that. Just make sure you have that protection so that you don't burn yourself. And for this, I'm going to do a minute on each side. And again, be very careful. It is hot. So go ahead and I'm going to flip it. And then I'm going to do a minute on the other side as well. All right, so we're done. And again, it's super hot. So be careful with it. Now, if I had time, I would let this cool off. But you guys, I was pressed for time. I really had to hurry up and get this done because I had to get it wrapped up and ready for the exchange. So I took this off. Now, this process it's weird. Sometimes this stuff will come straight off. Sometimes it doesn't. Could be that it was hot, but it could also be that I'm recording and it wanted to be difficult. but it's a process. Just go ahead and just take everything off. And at this point, like, people, might think, oh, you got to be careful. Nope. The heat has put that design on there. It's stuck on there. It's not coming off. So yeah, just go ahead and peel it off. Now, I did start to get a little nervous because I seen some spots on the design. So I was like, oh no, it didn't do right. But just go through the entire process. And you guys, if you want to see a tutorial on how I do these things, just let me know. But yeah, as you can see, it's spotty. There's a lot of parts. It looks like it's missing, but it's bumpy. So all I'm going to do is go ahead and clean this off with some rubbing alcohol. There's the scripture. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and use some alcohol. And it worked. It got everything off. It's nice and smooth. And I think the design came out well. And there's the scripture again. Now, if I was charging for this, I would have made sure my seams lined up. But, sometimes you just got to go with what you got. And then that's it. So you guys, here is my gifts on a sort of a zero budget. I already had this stuff on hand. I didn't have to spend any extra money. And I used a process of sublimation. So if you want to see any more tutorials or, see the process, go ahead and like and subscribe. Share it with a friend. And yeah, just don't forget to come back for some more crafts. All right, guys. Bye.